No, just we're anxious to get ourselves back to work. I think was really happy we had the bye week, and I think we got a lot of good work done out of that. And so we're looking forward to getting our focus and getting moving on to the next phase of things. And we got Washington State this week, and we're excited to get that thing rolling. So.
Coach, talk about, hey, you took over, you had like 5 days to get ready for a game with all the changes. What's it been like since the Lafayette win, the bye week, the chance to kind of take a deep breath and get into some details of how you want things to move forward?
Well, I thought we needed the bye week, to be real honest with you. That was a very hectic time, and I thought our players and this coaching staff did a really good job of attacking that. And it's like I said, our deal is to help these guys be the best them that they can be and help them find a way to have success. And it was great to be able to see them smile again. And felt like there was some time needed for both ends of it. We had, you figure training camp was 4 weeks, and then you had the run of games as it was, and there was a lot going on. And obviously there was you magnify it with the emotion of everything that went into that last week prior to the bye. And so we took that as a combination, be able to get bodies rested, get minds brought back again, and get rejuvenated to go make a new run. And I was excited about I liked the way that our players responded to it. I thought the coaches did a great job of responding to it. We got a lot accomplished, I felt like, during the course of the bye week. And like I said, that gives us, we're back on the practice field tomorrow, Tuesday, to get ready to roll. And so everything has moved forward very well.
109th time Cougs and Beavs have crossed paths in a football game. Long history. You were part of it on the Palouse for years. Talk about this matchup. Talk about what you think this game's going to be like, because, it's kind of unique. It's going to be the first of two this season.
Yeah, it's going to be like being back in the you're in the division race. You got to beat everybody. Try to win it twice so you can win the division and go to the playoffs. And we got to try. We get the opportunity to be able to play them twice, and if we can win it twice, we get to be the Pac-12 champions, and that's a good thing, or the Pac-2, whatever you want to call it. But we've got an opportunity, and so there you go again. It's what do you have a chance to do? Well, you got an opportunity. Number one, to play a new game this week. And we've got each day to prepare for it. No different than we had this last week to get ourselves, get bodies ready, get minds ready, and be ready to go about attacking the new week and the new opponent. And we're going to approach it the same way, day by day, so that when Saturday gets here, we can approach it play by play. And there is some motivation, some things that we want to be able to build off of. And so that's having success again, be able to smile again, doing everything you can to be able to walk off the field that way. And know that if you can attain the success and win this game, then you set yourself up the opportunity to be able to be the champion of the conference. And I think that there's a lot to be said for that, and I think that matters. And so that's I think it's going to be a hell of a game, and there's been some great games in the history of this, and I've been fortunate to be part of some of those and looking forward to the next ones. And we get two of them this year.
Final thing for me, the fact that these two teams were together throughout the entire changes, like you say, the Pac-2, and now they're going to be in the new Pac-12 together. Is there a kinship between the schools because of that, or are you guys, just, hey, two teams playing each other this week?
Well, I think you'd be crazy to say it's just two teams playing each other, because we are in the same boat, and we, obviously both want to be in the driver's seat of the conference moving forward as it grows in years to come. And the bottom line, all that stuff really doesn't matter either, because this is the opportunity that you have in front of you, and to go about it that way. So, I don't know that. I think if anything, you look at it, there's some rivalry there between the two schools, because we're the two that are left, and maybe the strong survive.
Given the uncertainty of what lies ahead for the players, how do you keep them focused on these final 4 games of the regular season?
Well, by doing it day by day is, I think, the best way to go about it. And I think y'all have heard me say it before, but I can pay attention to now. This is the only thing I can control is the present. Yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery. I got today. This is my gift. I'm going to do something with my gift, all right? This is the present, so do something with it. Well, what can we do each day to be able to affect that? That's the matter of how you go about it. And then that holds true to a ball game too, because I could have made a great play on the last one. Well, I've got to move on to this play. That one's history. I may have had a rough go on the last play. I've got to move myself forward. And I can't be excited about the next one because it's not here yet, because depending upon what I do this one is how the next one is going to affect all of us. So if I can keep my focus on what I'm doing now, then that gives me a chance. And so that's something that we've approached with our guys as we've hit each week, each day as we've gone through these things. And that's kind of the focus that I hope we have set in their heads, how to go about it. And I think by doing it that way and find out what you can achieve, and don't listen to, just pay attention to what you can achieve and what can I accomplish and go about it that way. And then I have the opportunity then to take care of the way I play in the game, the way I take care of my school, the way I take care of my daily life, all those things. And I do think that's going to benefit them later in life too, if that makes sense.
Going into the Lafayette game, you made a change at play caller and turned that over to Danny Langsdorf. Looking back at the tape, how did that go, and is that in place for the rest of the season, or was that just a one-game thing?
We're going to continue to move forward as we have, and like I said, Dan, we've got a tremendous staff that good coaches that all do good things, and if we can do this together, and remember one thing, and the one thing that matters is that we help these players be the best them that they can be, and maybe we find little wrinkles within everything we do, how we can make that happen. And I think the coaches did a great job of attacking that. I think the players did a great job of responding, and we've got to continue to grow. And that's what we're looking to do, is continue to grow as we move forward, if that makes sense.
In a similar vein to the offensive play calling, you guys had a different defensive play caller in this past game. We never got an official answer on it. Who was it? Was it Coach Tuiaki or Coach Chance who called the defense?
Coach Tuiaki did.
And, kind of what did you make of that, and, what kind of led into turning that over to him?
Well, no different than the other. We had a defense staff that was accustomed to building a plan together. There was going to be, obviously, the play caller was going to have to be new because that one wasn't in the building any longer. So that was the way that we worked it out. The staff built it together and communicated well during the course of the game, and we're going to continue to build it together as a defensive staff and continue to grow. And I think those communications continue to go and grow, if that makes sense. Everybody's, they'll be in the next game of doing it again this time, and keep building it that way. And I think it was good, and it should continue to get better.
And, on a football note, how did you guys kind of spend the bye week? What did your guys' routine and regiment look like through that? And, how are you guys ramping up for this one?
Well, I congratulated them after the game, and it was great to see them smile. And then I told them they needed to take some time and get some air. And so we kind of followed what you would. We got some workouts, some lift in them. We got some practice later in the week, gave them some time early in the week to be able to get their bodies feeling good. My goal was that we would feel better than we have, players-wise, physically, feel as good as you can feel going into this game. That was the big thing. So we did enough that physically they were able to get some things done. Mentally, we were able to do a lot with them. And we practiced later in the week and again yesterday. And then we'll start our normal routine tomorrow with a Tuesday. But we've been able to work forward on some things, so I think that was good. And I think that I'd like to think they'll feel better. That I kind of mentioned it earlier. I mean, that was a long run with all those games and the preseason camp stacked on top of it. We needed to take some of the banging off their bodies and help them get. Guys need to be rehabbed. Guys just need to get feeling better again. And in the grand scheme of things, after you get into about the second week of training camp, your body's not going to feel good again until February, anyways. And so if we could gain some of that back, and I want them hungry to go run and hit and do great things again, and that was the way we kind of went about it.
And last one from me. Coach Tuiaki alluded to it ahead of the Lafayette game. Do you have the intention to apply for the head coaching role when that becomes available to you?
Well, I'll say this. I don't think that has anything to do with what we're in right now. We've got to do what we can to take care of these players and help them be the best them that they can be. And they've got to have success, and they get the opportunity of these games to show the new coaching staff that they want to be invited back here, or if they've got to go in the portal to go someplace else, that they've been able to take care of that and do well that way. And we've got to help them be able to make that happen. And I think in the process of us doing that, that maybe helps us in the coaching portal of being able to be invited either to stay here or go someplace else, whatever that might be. And that's the focus we've got going right now. I've said it before, I'd like to be a head coach again. And if they said, hey, maybe we can do things so well here, they'd be crazy to let us go. But I don't get to speak on that. That's not up to me. We're just going to do everything we can to help these players.
But do you plan to apply for the role if you're given the ability to?
If they'd like to ask me to, I'd be more than, I mean, you'd be crazy not to. There's going to, you know how many coaches are going to apply for this job, are going to want this job? So, yeah.
Just we saw Jabari go in the second half against Lafayette.
What'd you think?
I mean, doesn't matter what I think. What did you think? And has he kind of been in that role and now has the opportunity to start against Washington State on Saturday?
Well, I'd say the same thing that I said, I think, after the game. I think we've got a quarterback room that's done a hell of a job. And I think you've seen the two of them continue to grow as the season has gone on, and that's going to continue to be the case.
And then just, a lot of benefits to the bye week. Like you mentioned, just the rest, but also just the emotional recovery. How much did you think that your team kind of needed that time to just emotionally recover after just kind of a taxing emotional week?
Well, I think it was very important. That's why we went about it the way that we did. And I think you could kind of see it unfold a little bit even during the course of the game on Saturday night. It wasn't a real comfortable situation at halftime. And in the second half, I think you saw guys work themselves into a more comfortable situation. I think if you paid attention to the way they played more free as the game went on. There was, 7 weeks or however many it was, there's a weight on their shoulders of that they needed to shake off a little bit. And I think we saw that start to happen, and I do think it was important. That's why I told them to take some time to themselves and be around themselves, be away from everything. They needed that mentally. And I think some coaches did too, needed that. That's been stressful on them too, you're still dealing with the scenario when you come home to your family and they want to know where we're going to live next year. What are we going to do? And so there was some time that I think was necessary. That's why the bye week was important for everybody in the organization at that point in time to get kind of refreshed and get feeling good again, and let's get ready to go on our new run.
Speaking of that, another benefit to the bye is that you've had an extra week to kind of prepare for a Washington State team that has come really close to some of the top teams in the country. Just what makes maybe their offense really threatening and what makes their defense tough to beat?
Well, I think they're a good football team. You watch the way they play hard, and they play, they work to play physical. On defense, they run around all over the place, and I think that, they've settled in on their quarterback in the last few weeks. They've played 3 different guys, but I think they've kind of settled in what they feel good about, and they're good at blending the run and the throw game, and they've seen some change for themselves. You look at playing Ole Miss and Virginia's a much improved Virginia team. They're both top, they're highly ranked teams, and so they had themselves in the ball game the entire time against each of those guys, and then and then they were able to pull off the Toledo game this last weekend. So I think they're a very good football team that's playing their tails off, and we're excited to go play our tails off again too.
Following up on Aaron's first question, are you committed to Malik as the starter going forward, or is this something that you view as an open competition this week heading into the game?
Well, I would say the same thing again to the same question. Okay, we've got a great room there, and you've seen those guys continue to grow as the season has gone on, and there's been a blend of both of them as the season has gone on. And I think competition is something that always makes something be good. And so we're looking to build off of that, and we expect to move forward and continue to grow that. And I think that when I'm competing with somebody or they're competing with me or those guys compete with each other, then that makes each of them play more better. And that's good English, right? I think that's a good thing. And so we're looking to grow that, and like I said, I like that room. I like what they've done, and I'd like to see that continue to grow and see if we can achieve some more success.
And it seemed like the offense really got flowing when Jabari was out there, when the run was more of the heavy focus against Lafayette. How much does that factor into your decision making and leading up to this weekend?
Well, I think that we were able to do some things. The game started to look like it was supposed to as the game went on, and you got to pay attention to what Hank did. I mean, that was awesome. He's got his name in the record books, and he did some great things there. And that doesn't happen without the guys up in front of him doing some stuff. Also, I think that whole group together, and that's what we have to pay attention to. It more than anything else is that we gain ground each play, each day in the things that we do, and we've got to do it together. This group together. Taking on the world. Let's go get after it, if that answers your question. Yes, sir.
I'm going to give it one last try. When will you decide on a starting quarterback for this week's game?
I already answered that.
Okay.
We have.
Okay. And Cornell Hatcher, he, I think, has the most yards per carry. Do you see him getting a few more carries.
Yeah, I'd like to see that continue to grow. I think we that running back room. I mean, that's a room you got to pay attention to also. I mean, we've got guys there that are making plays, and I think that that helps each of them with their blend. I mean, there's different health that falls on each of their bodies, if that makes sense what I'm saying. And so if you can blend that out a little bit more, and that takes some of the banging off of each of them, and then defense has to deal with each of those guys a little bit different also. I think that works to our advantage, and I'd like to think you're going to continue to see those guys making things happen. That's a great question.
Hey, Coach, is
Yeah.
there the bye week in terms of healing? Is there anybody you could say that is likely going to be able to play this weekend that maybe didn't last week, some guys coming back, or is it too early in the week to know that?
To be honest, it's too early to tell. I'm very hopeful that we've done enough that we'll see a bunch of guys come back, but we're going to have to see how that goes day by day, to be honest with you.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Thanks for your time.
You bet. Thanks, y'all. Have a wonderful day.